Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on Missing Number TCG. I'm your host, Missing Number. Today, I'm doing a beginner's guide on what are Pokemon, where is the state of Pokemon these days, and how do you even know what you're looking at when you get into the trading card collection. We have a lot of people who have been watching and asking us in person and online about, what are we looking at? We like what you guys are doing, but honestly, a lot of people are saying they haven't even looked at Pokemon since it first came out back in 1996. So I wanted to take a minute, do a quick video, educational, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. You all ready? Let's go. Alright guys, great video today. We're going to jump into it here. Before I do, please like and subscribe. It helps us grow as a channel and push this information out to others who might find it interesting. So I guess the best place to start is at the beginning. Let's tackle the basic question. What is a Pokemon? Now, everything in this video is my opinion or what I've been able to look up kind of quickly, what I remember from back in the day, but at least my definition of what a Pokemon is that it's kind of an umbrella term, right? So it's an umbrella term for creatures that are living in the world of Pokemon, and these creatures called Pokemon have special abilities and powers that separate them from basic animals like a basic bird or a basic chicken. Pokemon can be captured, transported, and stored with the use of Pokeballs.
Caterpie, you're mine!
So, Pokeballs can come in a lot of different varieties. We'll save that for another video, but for all intents and purposes, the classic red on top, white on bottom Pokeball is your standard Pokeball. All right, Pokemon are trained to learn new moves. They evolve into different forms typically, and they usually serve as partners for their trainers. So in the world of Pokemon, Pokemon can be used as pets, some are used for their abilities to aid or enhance human work. So in the classic anime and in the games, you can think of Chansey, who is often seen with Nurse Joy. Chansey is a bit of a healing Pokemon, therefore she fits perfectly in a hospital caring for other Pokemon. Classically, we can see things like fighting strong types like Machokes and Machops, helping out in construction, and a lot like that. Beyond that, Pokemon can be used to help in hobbies, like a lot of surfers might find water types attractive because they can kind of play with them in that realm, or they can enhance their sport or activity. And then additionally, they can help with passions. So a lot of people who are interested in cutesy dress-up stuff might find kind of cute smaller Pokemon better as their companions. Typically, Pokemon are used for battling. So battles give Pokemon experience, which let them level up and grow. This growth lets them become stronger. They learn more moves and potentially can evolve again into a stronger version of themselves. Battling in the show and the game, it's a motivation for the trainer as well, because they move up through ranks. They want to be the very best. And in order to do that, you have to catch, train, and use Pokemon as your partners to beat other people in Pokemon battles. Now, we got that out of the way. Let's jump into another huge question. People want to know what's up with Pokemon generations. What's up with the different regions? What is that all about? Because I've heard so many times, the last time I looked at Pokemon, there were 151 from one place. I got you. So let's take a look at our camera here. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at this map. We look at this map. It's quite large, and there are 9 different generations of Pokemon at this point during this recording of this video. I'll walk you through kind of where each one is, and then we'll go into a little bit later about the regional specifics and things like that of the Pokemon. So, zooming in here, we've got the Kanto region. So Kanto is where your original 151 Pokemon are from. This is the classic stuff that everybody knows. This was released in 1996. Moving on next over here to the Johto region. Johto was released in 1999 and housed additional evolutions of some Pokemon. It added a bunch of new Pokemon. And then we ended up in 2002 moving down here to the Hoenn region. And again in 2006 we got the Sinnoh region, which I believe is up here, up top. And then in 2011, we were given the Unova region down here. And then in 2013, we ended up getting the Kalos region up here. And in 2016, Sun and Moon era came out, which is also considered Generation 7, which is the Alola region here, these sets of islands. In 2019, we were given Sword and Shield, which gave us the Galar region over here. And then most recently, in 2022, we got Scarlet and Violet, which gave us the Paldea region. Now, each of these regions do typically build upon one another as far as the Pokemon that can be found, their typing, evolutions, and we're going to get into all that in just a minute. Moving into explaining these Pokemon, their regions, and all that stuff a little bit more, we can remember, right, we have generations 1 through 9. What I'm going to do is just kind of explain how this affects Pokemon throughout their lineage of the various games and shows and things like that. If we look at the camera here, we've got PokemonDB.net. I'm going to place this link in the description so that if you're interested, you can come here and play around. I really like this site because it kind of keeps things nice and concise for me. If we hit the Pokeball in the top left, it brings up the first option, Pokedex. Let's press that. And if you scroll down a little, we see this thing called native Pokedexes. And just as we talked about, you'll see all the different games that were released. Now, don't let it overwhelm you. Again, if you look here, this says Kanto, right? This is Generation 1, all right? Then you can see up here, there's another Kanto. Then if you look, let's see, up here, you can see another Kanto. So multiple games were released and updated with new features and added, so you don't have to get too stressed out about this. But looking through, it'll give you a nice range of the different games and the different Pokemon that were added in. So to give you an example about how Pokemon were added and changed, we're going to go into the Scarlet and Violet era because this is the most recent. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to one of my favorite Pokemon ever in the entire game, and that would be Scyther and Scizor. So if we go into Scyther here, in Generation 1, he didn't evolve. You could only catch Scyther, that was it. Then in Generation 2, we were given Scizor. So now, in the second generation, in Johto, suddenly Scyther could evolve by holding an item and being traded. But then, we were given about Generation 9, we were given Kleavor, which is another evolution of Scizor, where he can evolve a different way. So now suddenly you have original Pokemon now built upon by giving him different evolution types. Additionally, to kind of compound on that, we can look at something like Snorlax. Again, a Generation 1 Pokemon. When you saw him in Generation 1, he didn't evolve. Snorlax was Snorlax. But around Generation 4, which was the Sinnoh era, we were given a pre-evolution. So his baby version was Munchlax. So now Munchlax is added as a pre-evolution to Snorlax. You can now catch the baby version and evolve it into the bigger version. This continues for a while, all the way 1 through 9, generation-wise, just kind of building on original Pokemon while new Pokemon are being added, ones we've never seen before. The other thing worth talking about is a lot of people were asking about regional specific Pokemon. What is that? You open a card and you say it's a Galarian Meowth, or you say it's an Alolan Meowth. Well, Meowth's a great example. Let's take a look at him on the camera. We looked at the map earlier and we saw how vast the Pokemon world is. So just like in our world, how one creature, say a bird, could live in North America, but that same bird might live in South America, but have different features. Adaptation through evolution. Well, Pokemon builds on that same principle. So it assumes Meowth, typically a normal type in the Kanto region, Generation 1, was then given new life as Alolan Meowth, which was a dark type in Sun and Moon era. Then they went and built on him further, and in Generation 8, in the Galar region, Meowth is now a Steel type. And you can see his subsequent evolutions also look different. When he evolves into Persian, he looks like this in Kanto. When he evolves into Persian, he remains a dark type here in Alola. And then when he evolves into Berserker, which is a totally different name, but still an evolution of the Galarian version of Meowth, he remains a Steel type. So this can all get very confusing. I know it's a lot to take in. Again, I recommend going to this site if you're really interested and just looking through the different generations, seeing the Pokemon that are there, see what you like, and you can kind of explore for yourself to see how some of the ones you might like change throughout the different games and the different generations that they are included in. Our last big topic that we're going to talk about today, let's talk about the trading card game. That's what we do on Missing Number, right? We rip open packs and we look at a bunch of good cards. Now, we just started our channel. So just like 1996 was the release of Pokemon and, the original video games, which were red and blue, quickly followed by yellow, which were all in that Kanto region with the original 151. Opening those packs from those days is a very expensive, very challenging objective. Once Pokemon Company finishes a print run, right, printing a big set, they tend to move on to their next generations and keep it going. Therefore, scarcity starts to happen with later sets. That's why the original Pokemon cards, if you open them back in 1996, 97, 98, 99, those cards are probably worth a lot right now because there are very few out there still in good condition that people can get and open. Now, realistically speaking, if you've got a lot of money to throw at this, you could look at maybe something like Kalos, Unova region, and open some X and Y, which are the games associated with that, or Sun and Moon, that was from the Alola region. But those are getting pricey. Some of those packs, if I remember correctly, can be upwards of 25 or 60 bucks per pack for even just Sun and Moon. So most YouTubers, most people opening right now are doing Sword and Shield, which is from Generation 8, which was from the Galar region, and Scarlet and Violet, which is from Generation 9, the Paldean region. So Generation 9 Paldea, because Scarlet and Violet is still happening right now, they're still doing sets. Those are typically the most readily available in stores and online. They're going to be the cheapest. Looking at Sword and Shield, those sets have, to the best of my knowledge, all been finished printing. And so what's out there now is all that's left. So the prices are starting to climb on those. Those sets are very popular for people really loving those Pokemon and having some great artwork. So that's why you'll often see Evolving Skies, for example, is a huge popular set. It's got all the Eeveelutions, right? Eevee can evolve into a bunch of different Pokemon. Everyone tends to really love them, find them interesting and cute, and so of course a set like Evolving Skies is just going bananas in price right now since they're not printing it anymore. So if we look to our camera now, I've got another great site I wanted to share with you. It's tcg.pokemon.com. So this is the official list for the trading card game that Pokemon has right now. Each set that I'm going to show you does include almost all the cards that are collectible in each set, and it's a great way for you to kind of break down what you're looking at, to see what we're talking about when we say we're opening Sword and Shield, or we say we're opening Scarlet and Violet, and then we say what set underneath that. You can kind of see what we're talking about. I say almost all the cards because there are some, I believe they're called secret illustration rares, things like that that you don't get to see online, but once you get the book that we've shown when we've opened ETBs, those tend to have the full list of all the cards. But let's take a look at the camera so we can get a good idea of what I'm talking about here. So if I bring this up here, it says all galleries and Scarlet and Violet in big bold at the top. Currently, the most recent set out right now at the time of this recording is Scarlet and Violet Twilight Masquerade. Then Temporal Forces was just before that. You could do the card collecting in a bunch of different ways. You could go for price value and try and get some very expensive cards and try and sell them. Gotta be honest, it doesn't tend to work too well since it's a very variable chance hobby here. But what I like to do is look through those sets on this site, which I will link in the description, and see which Pokemon or which cards you really like. If there's a set where you're like, wow, a lot of these cards are really beautiful, and I love Charizard, well then you know what? You might want to go check out Brilliant Stars from Sword and Shield. Or if you do like Lugia, then you could check out Silver Tempest because there are a lot of Lugia cards in there. All right guys, let's go over what we're looking at when we're looking at people opening Pokemon cards online, all right? What do they all mean? Now, if we look at our camera here, I've got 2 packs of Scarlet and Violet. So this is Generation 9. This is the Paldea region, right? So we're in Scarlet and Violet, and this pack is called Temporal Forces. They have different pack faces, but the cards inside are all the same set. So let's open this up and let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, in Scarlet and Violet, all the code cards will have a black border and look like this, all right? And the first card back here will always be an energy. There's no pack trick to Scarlet and Violet era, and I'll show you what that means when we open a few Sword and Shield packs next, okay? This means you can just go straight through it, and the card on the very back is going to be your rare one. It's kind of like saving the best for last, all right? So if we go through Meryl, Golett, Dunsparce, Snom, Sandy Shocks, Hand Trimmer, Rabska, you get a reverse holo Torracat, you get a reverse holo Mr. Mime, and a holo Feraligatr. So in the Scarlet and Violet era, what these code cards are essentially telling you is that you are guaranteed a minimum in any Scarlet and Violet pack of getting at least 2 reverse holo cards and 1 holographic card. So this is kind of the bare minimum. Honestly, in this set, this would be kind of a bust pack. There's nothing good in there for me. Now, that is a big difference from the Sword and Shield, because Sword and Shield, you can open pack after pack and get nothing shiny. So let's take one more look here at Scarlet and Violet. We'll open one more Temporal Force pack so I can kind of show you here, see if we can get anything better. All right, I'm gonna leave the energy back there because when you open this up in Scarlet and Violet, you can just go straight through Dunsparce, Snom, Pikachu, Scyther, Keldeo, Delmise, Electivire, Reverse Holo Melmetal, Reverse Holo Meltang, and a Holo Brambleghast. So I didn't get anything crazy on these packs. Funny enough, I did open some off camera, thinking my camera was working, and I ended up pulling an A-Spec Trainer card, which was purple, and it was in the pack right about here. So you can pull different cards that aren't just reverse holo or holographics. they would be just in the back in this area. Okay guys, got a few packs of Lost Origin with me, and let's take a look at these so we can see if I can show you the difference between the sets. Now, looking at the pack face, it says Sword and Shield. So this is taking us back in time. This is Generation 8, the Sword and Shield era in the Galar region, right? And this pack set is Lost Origin. So let's open up this Sword and Shield, and I'll see if I can show you the difference between the two different types of code cards you could get here. All right, so that's one, a white border code card. Let's hope one of these other two have a dark border so I can kind of show you the difference. Oh boy. All right, two white border code cards. I'll tell you what that means in a minute. All right, let's hope for something here. All right, there we go. We got one black border card here. Okay, so in Sword and Shield, when you get a white border versus a black border, this means that you are not guaranteed any holographic basically whatsoever. I think the minimum for this pack is one reverse holo. So there are, in some sets like Lost Origin, you can get something in a trainer gallery, which is somewhere kind of before the rare card. Now, unlike Scarlet and Violet, where the energy was in the back, the energy is kind of in the middle of the Sword and Shield era packs. So in order to save the best for last, we shuffle 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4 count. So you take the 4 cards from the back and put them on top. That puts the energy first, which tends to be what people care the least about. So Fire Energy, Dottler, Seadra, Thornton, Heeswin Growlithe, Seedot, Slugma, Tiamo, Litleo, Reverse Holo Abomasnow. That is our minimum guarantee for this white border code card, is a reverse holo here, and a non-holo Magearna. So that's exactly what that code card was warning, that basically you've got a pack, don't expect too much from it because I got a white border. Now I'm going to show you with this white border what happens if you don't do the 4 pack trick. If you just happen to go straight through it, Clefairy, Apom, Spinarak, Litwick, Rosalia, woo! And that is an insane pull. That's from the trainer gallery, which can still happen when you have a white border code card. So white border doesn't necessarily mean you're out of the game. It just means your chances are insanely small from getting something from that pack. This is a great pull, and this is our rare card. So the white border was more speaking to our rare card, saying, don't expect anything from your rare card because it's not shiny, all right? And then you've got your other cards behind. So if we had done the pack trick, this would have been the last card we pulled. That Enamorus is beautiful. All right, I'm gonna do one last one, show you what the black border on Lost Origin means, right? Prove to you that it means that there's a holographic in there at minimum. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, the one other thing I should mention, just if you're looking at the sets and you can't tell, you know, what generation they're from, starting in Generation 9, Scarlet and Violet, they went to a silver border. So all of the cards in Scarlet and Violet have silver borders on them. And all of the generations before, 1 through 8, have a yellow border to all the cards. So as soon as you see a silver border, that means you're looking at something from a recent generation, Generation 9, which is that Scarlet and Violet taking place in the Paldean region. Machoke, Mirrorgate, Cascoon, Hiswinzora, Binacle, Goomy, Bronzor, Snover. Here's our Clefairy, and our black border told us we have at least a holographic back here. Let's see if it's something better. It is not. It is just a holo Barbacle. All right, guys, let's get into the code cards and how to trade them in. That will be the end of this beginner guide. Remember, if you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe. I can always do an intermediate or an advanced guide to Pokemon card collecting in the Pokemon world. You guys just gotta let me know what you enjoy. I wanted to at least, at a minimum, put out this beginner's guide. So please like and subscribe. It helps the channel so much. And now let's get into how to redeem these code cards. So, if you look at this, we're at Pokemon.com. I will go ahead and link this in the description. We're gonna hit these top 3 lines in the top left. we're gonna go down to trading card game here. Then we're gonna scroll down till we see this Happy Pikachu, and we're gonna press the redeem the code cards here. You're gonna log in, which I already have. Now the easiest way is to go ahead and hit the camera, allow it. You're gonna wanna flip it over so that you can scan the QR codes. You may enter these manually, and then you can hit the submit code. Right, so I'm going ahead, I'm doing a few Lost Origin boosters and a few 151s that we had opened before. All right, so that's the easiest way. And you're gonna go ahead and hit redeem here. And those will automatically be redeemed to your Pokemon TCG app, which if you don't have, you're gonna wanna download. It's this one here, Pokemon TCG Live. This is a great way to play the game, to make decks, to experiment with the game. But at a minimum, I know that Quinn loves to open packs with these code cards. So then as you can see, as soon as you log in, it's gonna automatically prompt that you have 4 packs. We redeemed 4 code cards, we get 4 packs. 2 151, you just tap the screen and it's like opening a virtual pack here. And nothing really that great on this one. We get 1 more because we did 2 of each. So we're gonna keep tapping through. Now these don't have monetary value, but you can use these to make decks and play with them. Ah, nice Alakazam EX, that's a decent pull. Now we're gonna get into the 2 Lost Origin packs. They'll have random artwork, so just because you opened a Giratina pack doesn't mean you're gonna get a Giratina artwork in the game here. And there we go, we got a Hollow Gudra. Last pack here to show you how this works. All right, so I'm just tapping the screen and it's bringing the cards up one at a time. And then when you finish, it'll bring up every card you just pulled. You can click on the cards to view them full screen, and that's about it. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this video was helpful and educational for some of you. I'm gonna timestamp below. Remember, like and subscribe. Let me know if you like this content. I can always make more videos that are a little bit more informative if you're looking for something a little deeper. But from all of us here at Missing Number TCG, we really appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time.